What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where it's about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shan Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And Daniel Acevedo.
How's it going, guys?
What's going on? So we start the show off with saying that Daniel was wrong about Deadpool and Wolverine. No, I'm just playing. So welcome to Friday's episode. So this is the non-cyber related episode. I always like to put that disclaimer up there. So please go back and listen to Monday and Tuesday, our topics. Wednesday, discussion. Thursdays, Ask a CISSP. And then Fridays are everything else. So that's how we unwind. We talk about pop culture, books, movies, everything. But this one is extra special because the panel is split on the Deadpool Wolverine movie, so this must be discussed at some point during the show. So how do we want to do this? Do you want to go over how everybody's week was first and then get into the Deadpool discussion?
We'll do it. We'll do the week, and then I'm going to end on that so we can roll into it with everybody. And
Got you.
So here's the thing. I had last week off. We had a little mini staycation. My wife, her birthday was coming up, and for the weekend, even though it wasn't on the weekend, she was like, "Hey, I just want to get all my children in one place, right?" So we went to Great Wolf Lodge. We swam it up, did some arcade, some Magic Quest, some rock climbing wall, which I didn't do this time because the last time I did it, I tried to do the hardest one. I was talking mess to my son because he couldn't do the hardest one, right? And so I get up on there, and I think I broke a finger, just never got it looked into. I was like, I'm pretty sure because it hurt forever. And as I'm falling down off the wall, you know what I mean? I mean, you got the line on you, so you're not falling fast, but so yeah, there was rock climbing and all that, and she enjoyed having, all her children around her just to be there, right? It's one of those things where even if you're not actively doing something, just to know that they're all there makes you feel good. So Great Wolf Lodge, everybody enjoyed it. I didn't like seeing the bill from it, but it's whatever. You know what I mean? You know what you're getting into when you do these things, right? But yeah, it was a fun time. When it comes to what we were watching, so we all know Deadpool and Wolverine was one of the things we watched, but we'll get to that, right? But after watching that, it made me go back and watch the other two movies. So the first one, the first Deadpool, I remember liking it, watched it. Yes, I love it. Second one, just starting out to watch that one. I haven't finished yet. And I'm like, man, maybe I was a little harsh on it because the second one, I've only seen it one time. And I was like, it was too much fourth wall breaking for me. I get it. Like even in the comics, like he's talking to you through the panel, right? In the comic. So it's kind of his shtick, right? Him and She-Hulk, right? They kind of do the same thing. Right. But it was just too much of it. It seemed, from what I remembered, like every 5 minutes he's talking to you, hey, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da. Like it just seemed like too much. But as I'm watching it now, I'm like, man, it doesn't seem like it's as much as I remember. You know what I mean? But made me go back and watch those. I actually watched also, which one is the one where Wolverine went to Japan? The Wolverine? The Wolverine.
The Wolverine.
Right?
Yeah.
Which
I like that one.
Yeah, me too. Too. So after seeing the movie, I'm like, let me go back and watch some of this other stuff. You know what I mean? Just to refresh myself and whatnot. But the Wolverine, yeah, that was a good one too. I liked it. But
the best one is Logan, right? We can agree on that at least.
Yeah. No.
What?
I disagree. So this is what we were talking about off air. This is what we're talking about off air, right? So for everybody else out there, we were talking about the amount of money that Deadpool and Wolverine was making and how it's going like gangbusters, right? And I'm like, I'm a little different. I seem to not like what everybody else does that may be popular, and this is an instance of that. Like Logan, I was not a fan of. I was not a fan of Logan.
Did you see Ryan's reaction? He almost had a heart attack.
It was so good.
It's so good.
I'll just let y'all know this might be my last episode after that, right after I make that statement. Ryan might change everything up on me. I'll be like, man, I can't get in today. What's going on? He'll be like, you're no longer welcome. You know what I mean? That's how I'll find out. That's how I'll find out I'm fired. You know what I mean?
Chains on the door.
Yeah. He's keeping me out, not keeping me in like the principal. What's his name? Joe? Morgan Freeman? What's his name?
Yeah, you used to call him Crazy Joe. Not coming back, man.
He's locking me out, though. But no, I did not like Logan. I did not. And the thing is, this one, Deadpool and Wolverine, ties into it. So let's get to it. Deadpool and Wolverine. All right, we're going to get to that one now. Loved it, man. Like, this was one of those movies where, like, so I talked about in the second one how they did a lot of fourth wall breaking. It happened in this one, but it wasn't as much. But they did a lot more of they're fourth wall breaking without actually turning to the camera, and fourth wall breaking as well, right? Like they're talking to other people. Like you even hear them mention real actors' names, in it and whatnot, right? Because that's just what they do. But it was a good mix of it, right? Now I will tell you this: they're going to make enough money to where they do another one, right? Because they're at what was the figure? It's like 800 and some odd million they've made already in 2 weekends.
So worldwide gross. So yes, it was 800 and something in the States. Yeah. Worldwide so far, to week 2, it is at 940,000. Or no, yeah. What is it? Million. 940 million. I can't. Too many decimals. $940 million. You know what that makes it? It is now the number 3 top rated R movie. So grossing movie. So number one is Joker for 2019. It's at $1.078 billion. You have Oppenheimer number 2. It's at $977 million.
No.
Now you have
Joker's number 1, really?
Yeah. Now you have Deadpool and Wolverine number 3 at $940 million. And guess what number 4 and number 5 are? Deadpool 2, Deadpool 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So the top 5, it's 3 of the top 5 highest grossing R-rated movies, and there's no way this one doesn't top Joker. It's already on its heels, and it's only been 2 weeks. So it will be the number 1 highest grossing R-rated movie.
Even if it drops.
We'll come back to Joker.
Yeah.
Go ahead, my bad.
No, you're good. So with that amount of money, what I was saying was, with them making that amount of money, they're going to have another one after this, right? I envision Disney and Marvel are going to come at them and be like, "Don't come at us so hard this time." Because there was a couple times they went after Disney and Marvel where I'm like, oh, like they let you say that? Like they had to see it before it went to release, right?
Like it makes me wonder what they did cut.
Yeah,
right. It was rough.
Yeah.
He made a joke. Like I don't want to give any spoilers away, but he made a joke about somebody's divorce as it was happening.
Yes.
It was like, yo, nothing's off the table at that point.
Yes. And that's just crazy, man. Somebody's divorce as it was happening. Somebody that got divorced years ago, and they were like, "I'm fine with it." You know what I mean? Like they were going hard. But like, yeah, Disney and Marvel took some shots in this one to where I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." But I mean, it's one of those things where they're like, "We don't care because we're going to benefit from this." Like you can say whatever you want to say. We're going to watch the money.
It's going to definitely top $1 billion. Yeah. And I'll look up to see how much it costs to make.
I think though, so I will respectfully. I think the comedy in this one was good. The things that weren't like best hits and greatest hits of Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds, I think the comedy was good in that aspect. I still think the story was lacking a little bit. So yeah, the main bad protagonist, which was the British guy, the timeline people. I feel like it was a little bit too, like, the MCU and the whole timeline stuff feels a little bit too reused at this point. And then this bad guy being someone that's just like, hey, no one wants to destroy worlds or timelines, so I'm going to go out of my way and do it, didn't feel like big enough for me for what like Deadpool and Wolverine was going to be.
All right. So Daniel, okay. So even when it comes to the timeline stuff, like he referenced that. He referenced it being overdone. I like he even talked about it. Like too much of this going on, but we still gonna make this happen, right? And we're not giving away anything here, folks, because like if you watch the trailer and you've seen any of the Loki stuff, like you know what you're seeing there, right? But
if you've seen season 1 and season 2 of Loki, you know where we're at. It's.
But I think that was a way to tie it in, and it even had like the part where he's going through and he's searching, like they have so many funny parts in that, even, right? Where it's like, oh, like,
I'm saying like I think the comedy, the comedy of it was amazing. Like the waistline portion of the movie is for me the best part of the movie, and all the new characters that they bring, the cameos. I think everything was really, really well done. I just think the main bad protagonist, the main one in the waistline, I think was really good. I think the final part was very anticlimactic. And I just feel like for you having Wolverine and Deadpool, the action sequences at the ending weren't that great either.
What? Oh,
yeah, I don't think they were that great.
That was like my favorite fight scene in there was near the end.
Which one? When they're fighting
when I'm trying to give
They're
it
fighting all the
away.
Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful.
all the red,
Yeah,
when they're fighting all the red,
Yes.
all the red people.
Yeah.
I think that was the worst part of the movie.
What?
What?
Yes, yeah.
Hey.
I think it was not.
I'm chaining the. I'm Joe. I'm Joe Clark. I'm chaining the doors shut.
The fight scenes were amazing in this, man.
Yeah,
The
so I
fight scenes
think
were
I think
amazing.
all the wasteland stuff was really good. I don't feel like that final fight scene was that great. I think it was kind of like go back and watch it. Go back and watch it.
And that's how to get to $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like the parts when they're fighting inside the bus and leading up to that, the CGI is not that great. Nothing's really happening. Nothing's really happening. He's just like
a lot of it was practical, though. I think a lot of that was practical.
Yeah.
There's no. So when you watch the Avengers for the first time, the fight scenes are like the magnitude of how like they have to come together to like stop New York from getting destroyed, and kind of like the way that feels, and all the other like really good ones like Winter Soldier and those kind of things. I feel like this one, and I hadn't watched any trailers.
I see what you mean. There wasn't a lot of spectacle, not a lot of. But I think that's replaced in the Deadpool series with the gore. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
Like there has to be a lot of spectacle in those because they don't chop off arms.
But the thing is that the first time you watch the first Deadpool, the way you feel about watching that movie is that way as well, because obviously it's the first R-rated one, so it brings a lot of new things to the table. I think they had the chance, and I had like no expectations coming into watching this movie. I think they had the chance, since it was Deadpool and Wolverine, to recreate some of that soul that a Marvel movie has when you go watch it, and kind of that feeling you get from sitting through it. I think it lacked that. I think the humor was good, and I think a lot of the stuff from the Wasteland, not to repeat myself again, was amazing, but it still left me empty.
I feel differently. Like wow. I don't. Here's the thing. Everybody has their opinion on everything, right? Because like it was. I don't know how to address this. Like I don't, because I thought like in when I took my two boys, right? I took my 21-year-old and my 11-year-old, right? So don't think less of me, people. Like I realized what I was getting into. You know, his mother and I had a talk. I didn't ask for forgiveness afterwards. You know what I mean? But it was one of those things where my son always asked me, "Hey, what was your favorite scene?" Every time we go to a movie, what was your favorite scene? And that part we're talking about, like with the fighting at the end and whatnot, I was like, that's probably my favorite. Like, because there's a lot going on, maybe you didn't like it because you're like, I can't keep up with everything that's going on and whatnot. But you got Wolverine, you got Wolverine, like stalking over a car, and then he's like, yo, like it's crazy. And like Wolverine was kind of like, you ever played Marvel vs. Capcom? Like, you know how he's squat, and then he'll like crawl real fast and whatnot. Like that's what you had going on. It was like I could hear Berserker Barrage. Like I could hear that. It's going on. Like I could hear that as he's going on, like handling business. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I feel differently about that.
So what was your favorite fight scene without giving anything away, Daniel?
So probably the first one. You would say the first one, aren't you?
No, I like the in that movie. I like the Deadpool versus Wolverine when they fight in the car.
Mm-hmm. So like, I have I did like that one a lot too. But I have they had to have paid for that product placement, and he bashed the hell out of. Yes. Like they did two things I've never seen before in a movie. Like they talked bad about the product that they placed, like terribly, and then he progressively got better about the way he was talking about it. But then the second part about it was they destroyed it. Like remember there used to be a day, like back in the day, if you licensed a car in a game, you couldn't even scratch it. Like they did more than scratch it.
But at the end, like you said, right, he was like, "Hey, I gotta take it back." You know what I mean? Like it.
It
rocks.
So like
it rocks.
It rocks. The movie is that wasteland portion of the movie. I'm telling you, like I like that fighting scene and I'm gonna make a name about myself. Like that character. I'm about to make a name about myself. Like that whole thing. It's just funny. The action sequences are pretty good, and there's a little bit more of the wow factor. Like, I haven't seen that before. This is kind of cool. Or like, I haven't seen these characters or these people do these things. So it was refreshing. It was new, which I feel like this could have done a lot of that. It's just that portion of the movie. And then I understand what you're saying about the final fight scene, but it's too linear for me. There's lots of stuff happening, but it's just, I don't know. And it's Hugh Jackman's age too. Like, there's only so much he can do, and then they're also leaning a lot on CGI in that portion as well. So I understand the limitations, but I just, for some reason, I don't know, I was left wanting something more. I don't know why. That's how I felt about it. Like the ending was like, it was like too predictable, and like, you know, the main supervillain, I like that person a lot, the bald one, but the person that actually sends them to the wasteland and that whole thing, that guy, and the fact that he actually gets to send them to the wasteland also kind of upsets me a little bit, because we're talking about Wolverine and Deadpool here, and he's just gonna like, I was like, really? I felt like it felt kind of cheap, like to me, like a cop out almost. But I know they got to get them to there, so. So
let me ask you this then: Did you not like Loki? Because Loki was pretty much, it was kind of the same way in the series.
I love Loki. I actually like Loki a lot.
So the fact that they can take the God of Mischief and send him wherever and do the same type of thing, like, why do you feel differently? You know what I mean?
I think it's the element of surprise, because you remember that was a slow-mo. Like, was it B-52 at the time? I forget her real name.
15. Yeah. 15.
B-15. Yeah. It was pretty funny. Like, so I would say anybody who is interested in seeing the movie is on the fence. You definitely have to watch Loki, I think, for it to make, because usually you don't have to watch other stuff, like especially the TV series, to make stuff make sense. But I think that's a must, actually, for the first time.
At least the first season.
Yeah, at least the first season. Because I was really surprised by that. I was like, because compared to the movies, that's a deep cut, right? Because like that is one of my favorite TV series from the Marvel products. But it's really a lot of people haven't seen it. So comparatively to like an Avengers or something like that.
Yeah, and also I think what really kind of screwed over this whole part of the movie as well is what's his name, Khan, that's in the Loki, that is a bad guy.
Oh,
what's
Kang.
the name of the actor?
Kang. Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, that whole ordeal kind of got screwed over, because I really do believe that character probably would have made an appearance in this movie.
Oh, you think so?
Definitely, yes. Yeah, I think they would have probably pivoted, and that would have happened somehow, right? It would have made sense, especially if they're going to that part.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And that's why
from the series, he's not in the wasteland anymore. Remember?
Yeah, so but I still think I think they would have done something if they're doing the timeline thing with the timeline association, all that. I think they would have
sacred timeline and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
maybe
they're and then they're like bringing all these weird canon characters from Fox and all this kind of stuff. You could have eventually landed there, and with that, and it would have probably been a better story. But since that got taken away from them, I think they kind of went this route, which is still pretty cool. Because I'm telling you, the bad guy, the bald bad guy, I do like that character, which is also why I kind of felt cheated, where it's like, okay, I don't want to give away the ending, but like what they do to save the timeline, and then that's how they beat her. I just kind of feel like it was.
And to your point, that was kind of predictable. Like when they were very specific in their wording on how they could get out of the situation.
I could have written that. I'm not a Hollywood writer. Like I was like, really? This is like, come on, man. This is what we're gonna do right now?
No, and I get that. Like I figured that out, and then as it's playing out, like, hey, it's. This is what's going on. I'm like, okay, I see how this is going to happen. But to see it, and even then, inject some comedy in it, right? Because he looks at him and he's like, like, you know what I mean? Like injecting some comedy. There's always going to be some comedy with it, right?
The comedy is like a chef's kiss in this movie. It really is. Yeah. It's like they have new stuff, and then it's like a greatest hits of the first two movies. So it's really well done.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
So did we change your opinion here, Daniel? Like you've been giving a lot of compliments. You've been giving a lot of compliments here.
The things I like about the movie, I really like them, but I still feel like they copped out on a lot of like things where they were just like, well, we don't want to do anything new or innovative, so we're going to take the easiest route for the story. So here's what I would tell you. That's what I'm a little upset about.
So here's what I will tell you. I was reading an article on this actually earlier this morning. So they tried to get Robert. Do you know they tried to get Robert Downey Jr. to do a cameo in this one?
No, I
didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
So they did, right? So like, I'm not giving anything that's not already out there, but you know how he's doing Doctor Doom now, right?
Yeah.
They went to him, sat with him. I don't think Marvel is doing a good job of talking between their different entities on what is going on, because they were like, he was the only one that ever turned us down for anything, like when it came to cameos. Because you see all the cameos they have in this movie, right?
Yeah.
It's like, damn,
Yes.
like, that's pretty good, right? He was the only one that turned him down, and he never gave him that reason. And so then when he came out and did the Comic-Con, they were like, that's why. You know what I mean? Like,
it's such a missed you know why it's a missed opportunity, though, right? Because well, I won't, no spoilers, but I was thinking when he came out as Doctor Doom, I was like, he needed to do a cameo in this one because it would have made sense because of one of the cameos that's in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
right when they get to the wasteland, that person, I was like, if he had appeared then afterwards, it would have been like amazing. But yeah, missed opportunity.
But that's again, like you say, it's a missed opportunity. But again, I just think they didn't know what they didn't know. I don't think they're talking amongst themselves with their different projects, which is kind of weird, right? Because Kevin Feige is usually the producer, right?
Yes, yeah.
Like he usually brings it all together. But no, he did not tell them, and it's not like anybody in the know came out and said, no, you can't have them because of this, that, and the third. So that's probably why they tried to do other things. Like they were even trying to do, and again, it's in news articles, so I'm not spoiling it. They were trying to do an original 6 Avengers scene in there, like where they had all the Avengers. Like the way it read in the article, it was kind of cool. Funny. They would have had the 6 Avengers, and like Deadpool would have tried to been picking up Thor's hammer, but his friend was going to be able to do it. Like he'd be in the background. What they're talking about, his friend would just be picking it up, playing with it with Thor's hammer. You know what I mean? Because as you see at the end of the movie, he is worthy, right? Like he is kind of, you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, they talked about, hey, we didn't get to make that happen because we couldn't get everybody together and this, that, and the third. But
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. But like,
could you imagine if they had announced Robert Downey Jr. being a Doctor Doom in this movie instead of Comic-Con, how much more this would even have made?
It would have leaked.
Because we know
it would have leaked though. Like, so that's the thing. Like,
it would have been a portion. Yeah, it probably would have leaked. I see why they didn't want to do it.
Because like I saw almost every single cameo on different people's timelines. It really pissed me off. I was like, I gotta hurry up and see this movie before the entire movie's ruined for me. Yeah. And like there was only one cameo, and like you said, it's the first one, right, in the wasteland. That was the only one that was not ruined for me. I saw a picture, like a thumbnail of every other one. I'm very mad about that.
Yeah,
I was like, damn it, I gotta hurry up and see this movie.
You know that cameo you're talking about, and that character we're talking about when you get to the wasteland. So when what's the Spider-Man movie where it's all the Spider-Mans, not the animated one, the actual
Multiverse of Madness?
No, not the animated one, the real person one. That's Richard Garfield and
Far From Home.
Far From Home or No Way Home.
No Way Home. No Way Home. Yeah.
So No Way Home, there is like a really highly upvoted, I think Reddit comment or something like that, where they said, they had a missed opportunity because when all these portals start opening up from the different dimensions at the end of the movie, they should have had that same cameo that's in Deadpool. They should have had that character come out, and you think it's this character, but then he says his catchphrase, and it's actually that character. Yeah. And now when I watched it in Deadpool, it blew my mind because I was like, that is literally like verbatim, like what that person's comment was.
Because they're
like 6 years ago. Yeah. It's pretty funny. Yeah. So when I saw it, I was like, this is vindication. This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah. He's gonna be like, they stole that from me. Which they probably did, because like Shannon said, they do listen to the fans. They be like, that's a good idea, put it on the board.
And then the end credit scene like goes to that whole thing, right? Like when you watch the end credit scene for the movie, it goes back to all of that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's wild. But
then I missed my Marvel, my MCU, like this is like, this is gonna tie into the next movie, or this is like a little like trailer, a little something about like another movie that's going to come out.
Right.
Well, they did when the one character was like, "I'm the only one," right? And he looks at the audience like, okay,
so that's confusing for me. So I had a buddy tell me that I thought they were making another Blade with Marshall Ali or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
But supposedly that got canceled.
Ali. So it keeps losing directors because the script is not right. But it's going to happen. They keep saying it's going to happen. It just keeps getting delayed.
Okay.
But Mahershala Ali wants to do it, but he wants to, like, him and whomever else has the sway is like, this is not a Blade movie. Like, write it like a Blade movie. Because I guess a couple of scripts have been more laid back than a Blade movie should be. You know what I mean? Like, Blade movie is supposed to be action.
Yeah.
No, and it's supposed to be bloody. It's vampires. It's supposed to be as much or even more gory than what we're watching Deadpool here. So
yeah, so it keeps losing directors. So it is going to happen. But yeah, that was a pretty funny nod to it. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. It's my second favorite Deadpool movie because I did really enjoy the first one. I think the first one took everybody by surprise, but I think the first one, because the budget was so low, they had a little to work with. They made a lot out of it, so it's always going to hold a special place. And I wasn't really feeling the second one. I got to watch it again though, like Shannon said. It wasn't bad. It wasn't memorable, I guess. Yeah. But this one I really did enjoy, and I took my 9-year-old because, listen, hear me out, people, before you cancel me. I read up, and it wasn't going to be overly sexualized, so I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. I don't remember, like, I swear on everything, they did not curse nearly this much in the first two movies combined. Am I misremembering?
You're not. They way over.
Because I had somebody tell me like no, they cursed this much in other movies. I was like, no, not possible. It was an F-bomb every third sentence.
No.
Yeah, they probably cursed a little more.
I just watched the first one like completely all the way through, and it was not as bad when it came to the swearing as the third one. Right. Yeah. The second one, it doesn't seem like it's going that way. Again, I'm not finished, but like I don't see it happening to where
it had to be 10 times the swear word.
Yes.
And he had a black. He like literally. I looked at him at the end of it. I was like, "So did you like it?" Because he doesn't really like swearing and stuff like that. At least not to my knowledge. Like he could be that kid on the bus, but I doubt it. But he looked at me and he was like, "It was a masterpiece." He loved it. So I'm just like, okay, well, don't tell mom they swear so much when you talk to her about it. He thoroughly enjoyed himself. Like, he really liked it.
And here's the thing, right? So, like, there was some stuff that kind of went over my 11-year-old's head, right? Like, so other people in the audience are 11. So, like, in the first fight scene, there's a part. So, like, when they're showing people's names, you know how they're showing them on his weapons that he's using, and there's one where he hits the guy and he like slides it down.
Yeah,
like everybody's laughing, but to my 11-year-old, it goes over his head. Like he's not there yet. You know what I mean? So like, so like I'm laughing, I'm looking at him, and he's just like, he's like, I like the fighting. You know what I mean? But
right.
Realize what's going on. But my sister-in-law and my older son are laughing. You know what I mean? Like we're all laughing at it. So yeah.
I really did enjoy it. I can see it. I can see it being in maybe the top. So like I'm looking at the list now, right? So out of the R-rated movies, I can see it being number one. It's probably going to be The Joker at $1 billion and some change, right? But if you look at the full rankings of superhero movies, I don't think it's going to do it. Number one, Avengers Endgame,
$2 billion,
2.8 billion. Number two, Avengers Infinity War.
2.8 billion is in almost 3 billion? That ain't right.
Yeah. 2,797,800,564.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not getting anywhere near that. Not even half of what that is. Avengers Infinity War, number two, at 2.04 billion. Spider-Man No Way Home, 1.9 billion. The Avengers, 1.5 billion. Avengers Age of Ultron, 1.4 billion. So top five, it's not coming in. It's not going to touch the top five.
You don't think
so? No, it's not going to touch the top five. I don't think it'll get $1.4 billion. I can see it. It's gonna crest $1 billion though. Maybe though. It's only been 2 weeks, but then this is when the box office tapers off, right? Everybody who wanted to see it saw it at that point. You have some late goers, but I don't know, because right now it's number 17 at 940 million, and then above it is Doctor Strange at 955, so it'll beat Doctor Strange. The Dark Knight's at $1 billion, it'll beat that maybe. The Joker's at $1 billion, 0.07, may beat that, so that puts it at number 13, right? And that's still The Dark Knight Rises at $1 billion, and then number 12, Captain Marvel's at 1.1 billion. Spider-Man Far From Home's at 1.1 billion. Aquaman is number 10 at 1.148, so 1,148,000,000. So maybe it beats Aquaman, and then that will put it in the top 10.
I could see it getting to 1.4. Honestly, yeah, I could
total money, like total gross,
international with international gross. Yes,
worldwide gross. Maybe
Aquaman,
like so.
really?
If it beats 1.4, then it'll put it in the top 5.
Yeah,
because the Avengers is 1.5.
I could see it getting there.
That would be crazy.
Because here's the thing,
that's automatic. Like there'll be Deadpool and etc. Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like they will keep making Deadpool and movies after that. It'll be a franchise.
I think you'll lose people though, because you had a lot of the stuff they were doing off screen, like with them constantly doing jokes on social media and whatnot against, like as in Hugh and Ryan. You know what I mean? Like I think that contributed to it too, right? Like to see
the hype. Yeah,
he's been talking about Wolverine the first 2 movies, right? Like so he talked about Wolverine the first 2 movies, so it's a build up to it.
It was like his end game.
He hasn't been building. Yeah, exactly. No, that's a good point. That's a good
comparison.
It
was like his end game.
Yeah, he hasn't been talking about anybody else like that. You know what I mean? To make people want that, right? They're like, oh, I want to see it because he talked about it in the movies. They go at each other on social. They go at each other. I mean, they're probably the best of friends. You know what I mean? On social media. So I don't know. He just doesn't. He hasn't built that yet to where it's like Deadpool and Colossus. You know what I mean? Colossus has been in the first 2, right? But like, nobody really wants to see that. They're like, he's the straight laced guy. To be an X-Man, you must blah blah blah. And it's like nobody would care to see that for 2 hours.
But so we'll see where it lands at. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So 2 beats 1, so it was great. And that's how we can end this episode. No, I was just playing. But yeah, so but I do get your point though. Like the end did feel a little phoned home. But I don't know what they could have done differently with it. You know what I mean? Without having another major cameo or something like that. Like it really felt like an homage to Fox, because that's how they ended it, right? Like, showing all old Fox footage and stuff like that. So it was really a homage to, and that's not giving anything away. That's in the it's kind of like behind the scenes type footage. Like they show a lot of old Fox stuff. So I think it was the final farewell to Fox-ish. Not farewell, but you know what I mean? Like, we can finally close this chapter. Mm-hmm. And now everything is, MCU and Disney. And, oh, by the way, Disney can drop. He had to have said an F word at least 60 times. Someone's taking count.
I think it was 106. I saw it printed somewhere. It was 106.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
In a Disney film.
Yeah,
that feels low. I feel like it was more than that, but yeah.
Because I was looking at the parents' guide, right, to decide whether or not I was going to take my son, because I remembered the nudity from the first one, right? Like from the first one, there were scenes.
That's true. Yeah,
I can't have them.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Both of them.
So when I looked at it, I was like, I want to say I saw it referenced on IMDb. I think IMDb had it.
Had to count.
F word shown. That's just the F word. Just the F word.
Yeah, that's why.
Is 106. Like there's other stuff out there. Yeah. Just the F word is 106. So
yeah. But the only other R-rated one on there is number 14, Joker. Out of all the superheroes, so he's going to definitely beat that. He will be the number 1 R-rated superhero film of all time.
And so, Daniel, I know you kind of scoffed at that. Like, Joker? Really? Like, I haven't even seen it. Like, I've never seen the movie, but I'm like, that one doesn't seem like it. And the second one, like, there was a preview for the second one coming out, and I'm like, I don't want to see that either. Like, I enjoyed
the first one. I enjoyed the first one. It's a one-off, right? Like, it's not really tied into anything. It's just, like, if you want to see a different representation of the Joker, it's not bad. Yes. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I was.
But yeah, the trailer for the second one, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to see that in theaters, though.
No.
I'm good.
Yeah. Maybe. If it's a slow whatever time period it comes out, maybe, but we'll see. But I think it pretty much wraps it up. I definitely don't want to hold you guys longer. No, don't want to hold you hostage longer than necessary, so you can go see some other stuff. Right? Definitely continue to tune in to all of our episodes. Like, share, subscribe. We're over 500 now, so the next goal is 1,000 subs. And it's really about those watch hours now, right? Mm-hmm. So you need like 3,000 watch hours to get something. You need 4,000 watch hours to get something. Need y'all to watch the videos all the way through, or listen to them all the way through, or just make a playlist, or we have playlists. You just click on the playlist. You can click mute. I'm fine with that, and just let it run. All right, beat them at their own game. But definitely continue to tune in. Hit up all the websites that go by your name: The Other Side of the Firewall, The Other Side of the FW, or Ask a CISSP. Hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. You can find me on all the social medias. And where can they find you, Daniel?
On LinkedIn under my name, Daniel Acevedo.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.